What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Bill gives Luna an abortion order, while Will gets ready to tell Electra everything. Lee informs Sheila that Luna has left. Electra keeps raving to Hope about Will's miracles, and Deacon surmises that Sheila is thinking of something. Everyone at Lee's gasps as Luna announces she is expecting Will's child and shows them the pregnancy test. Incredulous, he shakes his head. They say it had to be a fake. Luna laughs and says it isn't. They are expecting a child. He can reject his emotions, but not the exam, Luna argues. This is true. She will have a Spencer as a child. They're horrified. Would believe she should be imprisoned, but she is confident that they would reconsider after seeing the baby. Bill drags her out because he's had enough. Will remains stunned. They expel Lee and question whether Luna is telling the truth this time. All of her previous exams were fraudulent. Katie assures him that his entire family would stand by him and that they will compel Luna to get tested. He is anxious about telling Electra. When he has to inform her about his night with Luna, she will be distraught. Bill accuses Luna of operating a scam and carries her into his office. He doesn't see why he should believe her when she insists that the pregnancy is legitimate. She is aware of his frustration at his son's failure to share their lovely evening with him. Bill believes she is deranged. Luna offers to take another test and reiterates that it is real. Every one of them will say the same thing. Bill advises her to have an abortion in order to demonstrate her love for his son. Electra asks Hope in the design office why Will keeps contacting her and sending her pointless memes. She hopes all is well. Since his promotion, he has had a lot more work, but she is happy of him and confident he will take full advantage of it. They discuss how inebriated he was at the party and how happy she is that she didn't become unfaithful there. Hope feels certain that she made the correct decision. Will also adore the necklace she designed for him, she is certain. Electra continues to talk about how protected she feels with him. Hope thinks they make a fantastic couple. Electra claims that every obstacle they have encountered has made them stronger. She thinks they actually have a future. As she looks at Will, Electra sighs. Sheila recalls her night with Will and her resolve to have a future with him in a flashback to Luna at Giardino. Deacon is concerned about her thoughts. She tells him that she thinks about how fortunate she is to have him and that he worries too much. Though he believes there is more, he would want to think she thinks about him constantly. She didn't have a smile. Loving him is serious, according to Sheila. He says, "Out with it, woman," as he believes that honesty is a turn-on. Although his wife is aware that he listens well, she says there is no reason to worry. He becomes worried and believes she is thinking about Hayes, her grandchild. She acknowledges that she still thinks about her grandchildren. Given everything she has done to prove herself to her family, he can appreciate her desire to re-establish a relationship with them. Deacon goes to respond to an email, and Lee enters. Lee whispers to Sheila that Bill, Katie, and Will carried Luna out of the flat. On today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Bill makes a startling announcement. Will gets ready to break the bad news to Electra, Lee rushes to Sheila, and Katie tries to comfort her son. When Luna proudly announces that she is expecting Will's child at Lee's house, he almost faints with fear. Luna is informed by Katie and the others that they will not fall for her phony pregnancy test because doing so will not spare her from going to jail. "We're having a baby," she exclaims to Will, insisting it's on the level. He vehemently rejects Luna's assertion that they are connected. "You can't deny this," she says, holding up the pregnancy test. She simply squeals about how thrilled she is and gushes about Katie and Bill meeting their grandchild, despite Lee and Bill accusing her of cheating on the test. Bill drags her out the door because he's had enough. Electra and Hope engage in small talk in Forrester's design office about Will and his promotion, among other things. They remember that, at his party, he had a bit too much fun. They waited, and Electra is quite happy that she left the party, though she might not be when she learns what happened. As a prelude to this truly unsettling turn of events, Electra makes it a point to stress that she has never felt so secure with anybody before, raving about how much they trust one another. Thoughts of Luna's resolve to have a future with Will are keeping Sheila from her work at Giardino. Deacon approaches and inquires about her thoughts. Sheila merely expresses to him her gratitude for his presence in her life. Folks, this is what they refer to as the quiet before the storm. Deacon nags his wife to come clean since he knows something is hurting her, but she attempts to ignore him. Deacon becomes aware that she is considering her grandchild. About Hayes, he continues. "Yeah, I am thinking about my grandchild," Sheila says cautiously. Deacon conveniently leaves as Lee arrives. Lee tells Sheila that she is furious. Bill hauled Luna out of the flat, so she's gone. Luna questions why Bill took her home rather than to the police when he drags her inside. Bill yells about the pregnancy fraud and claims it's not her home. "It's not a fraud," she says. He notes that after almost killing his brother, she is attempting to destroy his son's life. Why would he take her word for it? Luna believes that Bill's anger stems from Will not telling him about them. Their family is going to be stunning. Bill yells that she is deranged. "You are not carrying Will's child," he says menacingly. "If she is, she will take charge and act morally. She will liberate Will and have an abortion to show that she loves him." Luna's mouth falls open. Should we advise her to believe Bill? Learn why here. Katie and Will are still at Luna's place, going over what happened again. There is little question that the positive result was genuine because Will is so certain that she is lying about the pregnancy. If it weren't for that night, Katie, who appears to be in a bad mood, says she wants to think it's a scam. Bill informs Katie that he has brought Luna to the house to resolve the situation. Will complains that Electra will be upset when he tells her about this. He is unable to postpone it. "I must tell her about my encounter with Luna." In a move that could change not only his son's future but the entire Spencer dynasty, Bill Spencer, the vicious media mogul and fiercely protective father, demands that Luna Nozawa end her pregnancy in order to spare Will Spencer from the shame and scandal that accompany her shocking baby bomb. At the same time, Will, tormented by the truth and filled with guilt, steels himself to come clean to Electra Forrester. This is a shocking and soap opera-defining turn for the bold and the beautiful. The woman he genuinely loves, regarding his intoxicated evening with Luna, setting off a chain reaction of treachery, deceit, and heartache that will reverberate throughout friendships, families, and business empires. While the family, particularly Katie, Bill, and Lee, laughed at her claim given her prior fabrications, they were unable to rule out the possibility once Luna insisted she was prepared to undergo more tests to prove herself. The fallout started at Lee Finnegan's apartment when Luna dramatically waved around a positive pregnancy test and announced to a horrified group that she was carrying Will's child. She also mocked their incredulity and promised that whether they liked it or not, there would soon be another Spencer in the world. Departing although he rejected Luna's version of events outright, Will was visibly shaken and nearly fainted at the thought of becoming a father with a woman he hardly remembered sleeping with. However, his denial was unable to erase the haunting evidence she shoved in their faces, so Bill, his patience gone and his temper boiling, physically dragged Luna from Lee's, determined to confront her alone and put an end to her schemes once and for all. Katie assured Will in the background that his family would force Luna to undergo actual medical testing to ascertain the truth, but Will's thoughts were on Electra, the intelligent and loyal woman waiting blissfully unaware at Forrester Creations, who would soon learn the devastating truth that the guy she had put all her trust in had cheated on her during a single drunken moment, and worse, that the transgression may have resulted in the birth of a child. At Forrester, Electra was bursting with pride and happiness as she told Hope Logan about Will's recent promotion, their safe relationship, and how every challenge only made them stronger. She sighed dreamily about the necklace she made for him and praised how he made her feel safe and loved, never realizing that her ideal future was just a few moments away from falling apart. Hope smiled softly but with a glint of guilt in her eyes, knowing that her own complicated past with Liam and Thomas made her wary of any fairy-tale romance, but she could not bring herself to break Electra's radiant optimism. When Lee arrived to hiss that Luna had been dragged out of the apartment by Bill, Sheila Carter, back across town, grappled with her own conflicted thoughts about Will. She recalled the strange night she spent with him and the sparks she had attempted to bury beneath her marriage to Deacon, which made her agitated. This raised concerns that Sheila might use the chaos as an opportunity to spin her own redemption arc in the middle of the mess by positioning herself as Luna's savior or possibly Will's protector. Naturally, Deacon attempted to persuade Sheila to tell the truth and to stop concealing secrets, but she sidestepped him with evasive references to grandkids, making him suspicious but oblivious to the full and imminent threat. In Bill's workspace, Luna and Dollar's altercation. Bill erupted into one of the most upsetting and emotional scenes the soap opera has allowed to air in years. Luna, still holding on to her test and insisting that her pregnancy was real, attempted to portray herself as a victim of cruelty and disbelief, painting the Spencers as villains out to silence her, while Bill, his eyes flashing with rage and disgust, accused her of almost ruining his brother's life already and now trying to ruin his son's as well, dismissing her claims as just another scam. However, when she offered to take more tests and challenged him to face the truth if they all came back positive, Bill turned his rage into cold pragmatism, snarling that if she truly loved Will, she would spare him the embarrassment and career-destroying burden of fathering her child by getting an abortion right away. This demand was so harsh and manipulative that it even shocked Luna. The dynamics changed at that moment, with Luna looking both trapped and oddly empowered, knowing that holding on to this child might be her last chance to secure a permanent place in the powerful Spencer family. Bill, as the patriarch, prepared to play judge, jury, and executioner of her fate. Her jaw dropped when she realized that he was not going to bargain, sympathize, or steamroll her into ending the pregnancy whether she wanted to or not. Will sat with Katie outside of that suffocating battle of wills, repeatedly repeating Luna's declaration and shaking his head, insisting that she had to be lying and that there was no way she could be pregnant. However, Katie, who is usually his soft shoulder, warned him that no matter what, he would have to face the truth and, worse, Electra. This reality made Will shudder because he knew that the moment he confessed, the life he had built with Electra, the trust, the love, the future they had imagined, would be shattered because the betrayal was real, regardless of how inebriated he had been or how deceitful. These intertwined layers of dishonesty and frantic truth-telling are what The Bold and the Beautiful is all about, and this plotline brims with all the soap opera electricity that viewers love. The scene is set for a massive family conflict over truth, control, love, betrayal, and the future of not just one unborn child but the fate of everyone circling the entwined worlds of Spencer Publications and Forrester Creations. Electra is getting ready to show Will love and loyalty. Hope is playing the confidant who knows heartbreak all too well. Sheila lurks with her unpredictable mix of menace and maternal instinct. Deacon is suspicious but in the dark. Lee is furious that her warnings about Luna were ignored, and Luna herself is stubborn and cunning, refusing to be dismissed.